Hello. I want to take a minute to talk about some new feature functionality added to additional costs in version 4.30, which is our March 2020 release. Um, Additional costs, labor, overhead, that type of thing, has been in Vicinity for a very long time. And we have the ability to use that additional cost, labor, overhead, when we generate a component cost rollup. So in other words, I've added an inventory item DCFGO2 and I've applied some labor, in this case some packaging labor, to the end item. So every item that I make, it gets a certain amount of cost associated with it. This is being done by the cost rollup simply by adding the additional cost into, in this case, the bill of material, but it could also be based on the formula, which we're seeing down here, as I've got some other additional cost that's formula related cost. We've done that for years. There's nothing new in this release for that. The challenge that this presents is we also provide the ability for the system to automatically apply or allocate labor and overhead to a batch. And what we mean by that is, let's say on batch entry, we've got a batch sitting out here. Let's say we go. This batch ticket actually has a few costs associated with it, some related to the formula and some related to the end item. I'll just look at it from the end item perspective here. And when we do this, get rid of that bomb item, when we record a completion or putting inventory on hand, we can set up the system to automatically apply the labor and the overhead, so I don't actually have to come key it. So in this case, let's say that I'm going to complete 100 units of this end item. So right here on complete now, I'll set that to 100. And what you're going to see when I tab off of it is the issue now of the additional cost. You're going to go from 0 to the applied rate. So 100 units times 5 is 500 units of labor is going to be applied. That too has been around for a very long time. So the difference that we have is being able to address both of these simultaneously. In other words, be able to have a cost in the cost rollup, so you can generate a fully absorbed cost for standard cost or managerial reporting, whatever, but also be able to manage the backflushing or not backflushing. So the issue that we had is that we had some clients that wanted to put an additional cost, like a profit or something like that, that you wouldn't capitalize, you wouldn't put into inventory cost, or maybe it's a finishing or a packaging cost that doesn't need to go in the intermediate. So what they wanted to do is be able to have certain labor IDs backflush and other labor IDs not backflush. So in this case, one of these labor might backflush and labor 2 might not backflush, because labor 2, we don't want to go into inventory. We don't want to increase the value of inventory, but we want it to be part of the end items bill of material or the formula so that we can run a cost roll-up that does include that cost. So there are some reasons that somebody might want to backflush or not backflush and include it on the cost roll-up or not, depending on the labor ID that's being put in. Some of them you might want to backflush, some of them you might not. So the way we address this is when we set up an additional cost ID now, we have added the ability or the setting here for do not backflush. And what this is doing is it's a global setting that says at the labor 2 level, I don't want to backflush. In other words, I want to use it on my cost rollup, but I don't want it to automatically consume or apply that labor and overhead to that specific batch. Now, that's the override. So every time I put labor 2 on a new item, this do not backflush will be there. Now, there are some overrides. So when I get to the point where I'm ready to set this up, let's say DCFGO1, and I want to apply that labor and overheads down here in the routing area. It's right down, it's probably in a different location. Get to my facility, it's in Georgia, and when I'm in Georgia, I've got these routing costs. So right here, we've added the ability to override this at the level in which you apply this labor. So it will default to coming in with do not backflush because I set that on the master record, on the labor to record. But when I add it to this end item, I have the ability to override that or change that. So that's my first override. So one is at the first place we set it as at the additional cost ID itself. Then when I apply it to, in this case, a component or into a formula, you'll have the ability to backflush as well. And then finally, we've got one additional place that we've got when we actually go into the formula, we're able to do the same thing. So let me show you on formula entry, we've got an additional cost. Setting, let's go into the procedure. Let's put it onto the procedure, and then we have additional costs. So right here, we've added that as well. So this could be overridden or not to be turning on or off at the formula level as well. So the point of all of this is if you're working with additional costs in the system and you want some of them to be part of your cost rollup and some of them to be included in inventory, i.e. Included in the batch cost, this feature functionality that to allow you to override whether it backflushes or not will give you the ability to do that. So if you've got additional costs, want to talk it over with us, give us a call. We're happy to chat with you about what this functionality will do for you. And for those that are using it, we really appreciate the feedback. Thanks a lot and have a great day.